Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Venus retrograde reading for you. And Venus retrograde begins on March 1st, 2025. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so very much for doing so. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, a healing, or a gift card, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It's listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. If you are sound sensitive, this is time to mute the reading, let the healing energy wash over you, and unmute it when you see me pick up the singing bowl. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into the safe and loving space. All right, Sagittarius, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Ooh, so we are crowned by the Chariot. Love that. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, the 8 of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, the 9 of Cups. I like that progression, 8 and the 9. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. The 6 of Pentacles, angels and spirit guides. Lovers. The Knight of Wands, the Page of Wands, the 7 of Wands, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Temperance, that's us in the major arcana. The Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands, it's us in the minor arcana. So that's really intense. Temperance here. The 9 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Cups. I like this. I do. This is very nice. Okay, let me just move this up a little bit for you, so that you can see better. Oh, goodness. Okay, everything's going topsy-turvy. Is that better for you? Yes, perfect. All right, let me align this because it's just going to bother the heck out of me if it's not straight. There we go. All right. Know that about this Venus retrograde. I can feel that there's a nitpicky air to us during this time, Sagittarius. So just accepting that, like saying, okay, little things will bother me is going to be important, because this Venus retrograde, it begins in Aries. So everybody's a little spicy and we can get annoyed very easily. And it's not just us, Sagittarius, who can get annoyed very easily. During this Venus retrograde, it's everyone. So it's like, ooh, everybody can be just a little bit sandpapery. So just being aware of that is going to be super important. The Venus retrograde will begin on the 1st of March and it will last for 6 weeks, right? And this brings out existing issues in our relationships. So our romantic relationships is usually where our mind goes to first, but also in our family relationships, in our business relationships, in our friendships, any sort of relationship that we have, in our relationships with our pets, every relationship, it brings forward the issues that we have, the intensity that is there, things that we want to fix or work on or, address in one way or another. So just knowing that about this time is super important. We are also crowned with the Chariot. The Chariot is Cancer energy, June 21st to July 22nd. So if you have Cancer in your chart, if you have Cancer in your life, this is going to come through very powerfully. But Cancer energy really embraces the heart. But if we think of Cancer outside of the Zodiac, right? What do we think? Oh, it's scary. It's overwhelming, right? It multiplies whatever we feed it. So just be really aware with that during this Venus retrograde, because we're going to have issues with the relationships come up. And if we feed our energy during this time chaos, it will feed us more chaos. If we feed it love and patience, it will bring us more love and patience. So that is really easy to say. It is really hard to implement. So just being aware of this is going to be super important and super empowering during this time. We're taking the reins of what we love, of what we want, of how we want to move forward in our lives. And we're doing so with a tenacity of spirit, but also a compassion of heart, which is very, very important. Now, a Venus retrograde can also bring up old flames. So we can see old romances coming into our lives. You know, people that we haven't spoken to, exes from like college can contact us and we'll be like, whoa, what? You know, so just being aware of this is going to be super important. But what we're going to find is that it's going to call out certain things that needed to heal. Right? We might have thought, oh, wow, that was the one that got away. And then we see that one was a schmuck, right? And we're like, no, no, okay. So just being aware of this is going to be super important. If we can be in relationships or be meeting with people and they'll remind us of heartbreaks that we have had or people we didn't like, and that's to heal from those relationships and move forward in empowering energy. So again, that is going to be important. It brings us closure. We have the Wheel of Fortune. This Venus retrograde, even though it's going to be intense, right, is going to lead us into a new chapter. And as it leads us into a new chapter, we're here for the work. I mean, we really are showing up. It's like, okay, what do I need to do? Roll up my sleeves, get my hands dirty. I got this. So the Eight of Pentacles comes into play. It's hard work, it's tenacity, it's determination, it's focus. We can be a little bit too much about the work that we need to put in, because we do have the repeat of the number 8 3 times here. No, is that 9? That's 9. Didn't we have another 8 somewhere? Maybe we didn't. We have the repeat of the number 8 twice right here. So that's very important for us to know that this can be a lot of all work and no play. So just recognizing that for ourselves, that's going to be important. The repeat of the number 9 is about us embracing the humanity, there we go, of ourselves and letting ourselves be human. That can be really hard. Sagittarius were ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the Roman name for Zeus, the greatest of the gods, right? And we can find it very hard to let ourselves be human, to let ourselves fail, to let ourselves grow, to let ourselves be open and honest with ourselves. So that's going to be very important during this time. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to be perfect, it's like, no, I'm going to be me, right? And maybe perfect isn't part of our definition of ourselves, and that is okay. You know, some people are like, yeah, no, I'm perfect, I got this. And that's fantastic for them. And others always feel like they need to improve, they need to work, they need to push harder, do more. And that is okay too. But acknowledging that, and even with a Venus retrograde, it's about the relationship we have with ourselves. And so we are, again, taking the reins and we are moving forward. With the 8 of Wands, as we work really hard, we're going to see that these 6 weeks, they go by really fast. There's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that we're feeling. There's a lot that we're juggling. There's a lot that we're seeing for ourselves. And with the 9 of Cups, certain wishes come true. Certain things that we have crossed our fingers for, said, oh my gosh, I would really like this. They start to open, it starts to open up to us. We start to see that Spirit is listening, because we're like, oh, well, Spirit, if you're listening, please do X, Y, Z. But what Spirit is really doing is teaching us and saying, I need you to move forward, listening to your heart. And because in a Venus retrograde, we are more inclined to listen to our hearts, then Spirit starts to open up the doors and say, okay, like, you've got this, because we're raising our energy vibration, we're connecting with ourselves, we're taking the reins, and we're not letting everybody's emotional, like, chaos dump on us and think, oh, I can fix that, oh, I got this, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. No, we're also going to find that we're coming into balance. Now, with a Venus retrograde, it's not enough, right, that things emotionally come forward, right? It can also bring up issues that we have with money. So just being aware of that we need to put a lot into balance, and we're going to be seeing a lot of chaos, a lot of things that are out of balance. And it's like, okay, I need to ground myself here and now during this time. That is going to be super, super, super important. We can also be going through a dry spell in love. Now, this dry spell, even if we're in a relationship, right, we can feel like we're not connecting. Why? Because we're both so intensely working on our own issues, our own stuff, that we can feel like we're ships in the night. So if we're single, we can feel like I'm not connecting. I'm not meeting that right person. If we're not single, we can also feel like we're in a relationship. Why aren't we connecting the same way? Why isn't this, a passionate time for us? It's because we're working through a lot of things. And as we're working through everything, we might not want to be as playful, as passionate as we are usually, or as we once were. So acknowledging that is going to be really important. Grounding ourselves, saying what is important, how do I need to take care of me? How do I need to harmonize my energy, my soul, myself? Not taking care of everybody else, Sagittarius, because I do see that as kind of being a little bit of something that we start to focus on, right? Oh, I can help you here. I got this. I can, we're a good fixer. We're a good fixer. We're also a good listener. We're a good problem solver. And we want to use that energy helpfully. And with ourselves, we feel like, oh, this is just too much. But Spirit is saying, no, embrace the too much. Because once you dive into you, you start to see your own greatness. And Sagittarius, you're ruled by Jupiter. Like, come on, there is greatness within you always. So bringing that forward is going to be really important. And it also lets us know what we want in a relationship. And as it comes in, we have the Lovers come forward. Now, the Lovers is Gemini energy. Time frame May 21st to June 20th. Gemini is our sister sign. It brings out the best. It brings out the worst in us. So understanding that is going to be important. Also understanding the duality of things. We kind of like things to be balanced and true. Like, this is true, so then that can't be true, right? But Gemini energy is like everything can be true, right? These two things can be true at once. I can ask more questions about this. I can find out more about this. And we can find that to be very, very chaotic. But it's also going to be very intriguing. This is going to be a time where we start to say, wow, two things can be true at once. And I need to embrace and understand the complexity about myself, which, we might find annoying at first, but we're also going to find it very rewarding and like affirming. So being aware of this energy during this time, Sagittarius, is going to be very, very powerful for us. It's going to really, really help us out. It's also letting us move forward in love, in the power of the sacred feminine, the sacred masculine, the duality of love, the complexity of love. And we can want things to be really cut and dry during this time. The 8, the repeat of the number 8 is just like, no, I want to just know white page, black print, written in Sanskrit, like just for it to be simple and clear. And what we're starting to see is that the heart might be simple at times, right? But it is not always clear. And what is so interesting is that the lungs in the body protect the heart, and they work together. And I was talking to an acupuncturist about this, and I found this so just like absolutely amazing. And so our lungs protect our heart. And so our voice protects our emotions. What words are we saying to ourselves during this time that are protecting our emotions, that are holding ourselves back, that are keeping us from moving forward the way that we want to? But what do we need to say to ourselves during this Venus retrograde? Because we'll find certain songs are catching our attention, certain words are grabbing our attention, certain phrases in books or in movies or, whatever media we consume, it's catching our attention and it's speaking to our heart. And it's saying, listen. And the Knight of Wands comes into play. Now, we are represented by the Wands and the Minor Arcana. We want to move forward. This wants to be a time of action for us. And yet, then we have the Page of Wands, which says, where in our childhood were we diminished? Were our passions mocked? Were we not seen? Were we not understood? Did we feel small? Did we feel out of place? Did we feel like we had more questions than we would ever have answers? So as much as we want to charge forward, we feel like we're fighting battles because we're fighting a chaos that is about us not seeing ourselves from the time that we are small. And I know people say, Dane, this sounds like a therapy session. Okay, I don't mean it to, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Because if we embrace our inner selves and say, well, I was mocked for this, or I was bullied for this, or I was really sick when I was little, or, this happened, that happened. All of a sudden, things that we didn't think were a big deal, it's like, wait a minute, that was a big deal. I'll use me for an example. If you've been here for a while, you will know that I was a bit blind and deaf as a child, as people usually are, and I'm being facetious. But I didn't think that was a big deal. I was like, well, it was fixed, got over it. But now seeing, 4-year-olds, that's 4-year-olds, and knowing how much hearing I had lost by the time I was 4, I was like, that was a big deal. And it hits you in a new way, in a new light. And it's like, wow, that's really important. So here, it's looking at your child self with adult eyes and starting to see what you have gone through. That's important. Now, it might not be as cut and dry as losing your hearing, right? But it is going to be something that has stuck with you. And it's going to be part of the battles that you fight. And the way the energy feels stuck. Because it's like, I have to fight these battles. I have to fight these battles. And now your voice is coming and protecting your heart. And instead of saying I have to fight, it's like I have to accept. And I have to love me. And as I do so, I accept and love who I was when I was a child, when I was a young adult, when I was, starting off in this journey. I love and accept myself who I was yesterday, and yesterday could have been a crummy day for us, right? We could have been cranky and not feeling well. So loving and accepting ourselves. If it was a great day, if it was a bad day, if it was everything in between, it's going to be really important because the Venus retrograde says move forward in love. And move forward and release all the baggage that we just don't want anymore. And it brings us to temperance. It brings us to balance as much as we are coming in balance in the earthly plane. The Six of Pentacles. It's like, what needs to be in balance for us? What have we been working on? What do we need to move forward in? Where have we been taken advantage of? Where have we, downplayed our worth? We're coming into balance. We're coming into understanding with temperance, which represents us in the major arcana. The very essence of ourselves is coming forward. And here we're finding balance. We're finding harmony, but we are embracing truth. We're saying what is true. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. If it is true for us emotionally, why? Can I follow that deeper? Can I follow that deeper? Can I embrace the heart? Can I open up and give it a voice? And that's where the Nine of Pentacles comes in. Prosperity, success, bounty, abundance, standing in our richness, knowing that, tomorrow's going to be work. And my gosh, yesterday was hard. But I can stand in my richness now, calling forward my success and my prosperity. And it brings us the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is water sign energy. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Okay? If we're born on the cusp with Scorpio, if we have water sign energy in our chart, that's going to come through very powerfully. And it is holding up what we love. And it is moving forward in that essence and in that energy, saying love guides me. And it is being afraid of love. At times, yes. And it's knowing that the heart and the feelings can multiply things and make things into Pokemon and make things very overwhelming. But it is saying, if I move forward in love, and I move forward in kindness, and I walk gently on this earth, where is my truth and where is my passion? I'm also feeling here, okay, that part of the Seven of Wands has been a psychic attack that you have been through, a intensity that you have gone through, that took away the joy of the heart, and that now you are finding voice to. And that's going to be really important because it's going to feel very disconnected when you first hear this. And it's going to feel like, oh no, that's silly. That's not true. And then when you start to really connect with your heart and connect with your voice, connect with yourself, the door starts to open. And it's like, oh my gosh, that was a psychic lesson. Like that was part of my karmic path. And it would be easier. If you have Scorpio in your chart, check this out because this came through very powerfully for Scorpio too. But here, it would have been easier for you to understand if it was physical, right? If you tripped, you fell, okay, that had to be fixed. But this is psychic. This is the heart, the essence. And you doubted yourself, right? And you thought, oh no, I can't. And it started when you were small, right? There was a seed that was planted when you were small. And then it grew, and it grew, and it grew. And it came to a crescendo relatively recently, right? And you had to fight your way out of that, to speak your truth and to stand in your power and to say, this is what I love. This is who I am. Okay, this is my passion. And that's going to be something that becomes very liberating. It doesn't have to be anything big. Like nobody has to see it as a big thing. It can just be, maybe the fairy tales aren't necessarily how you want to walk forward in love, right? When we read about Cinderella or we watch the movies and the happily ever after in life is just this way. And you realize, no, this isn't what I wanted. I want my life to be something different. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be big. I'm not seeing this as something where people are like, oh yeah, I totally get it. I see it as something that's small. It's very personal, but it's very powerful because it's you stepping into your truth more. stepping into your power more, stepping into yourself more, Sagittarius. It moves us to see here what Spirit has to say. Angels and Spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And it's the condor. And it says, hold the highest vision for your life. You now possess the ability to move past any hurdle, and you do. And the condor, vultures, they're not exactly like the prettiest of birds, right? And they can also go through disease and not be diseased. And it's kind of amazing. It's kind of, it's absolutely fascinating. And so here, what we have been through has, been poisonous, but it will not be poison to us. You know what I'm saying? And so we are coming out of a darker time. This is a whole new sense of being that's moving us forward. This is a whole new world that we're opening ourselves up to, a new season that we are stepping into. And it brings us then to our chakra energy, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And this is a rebirth, exactly what Spirit was saying. Exactly why Spirit had me focus on the Wheel of Fortune, the change and the transformation. And this is the Earth Star Chakra located 6 inches below your feet. You're grounding yourself and you're being transformed. You're being reborn. And part of the butterfly's journey is that they have to go into the cocoon when they're little caterpillars. And if you looked at a caterpillar and you thought, yep, that turns into a butterfly, you totally doubt it when you're little. You're like, come on. But it does. And part of a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon is that it has to go through the pressure of breaking, of ripping open the cocoon to strengthen its wings. If we stopped and we helped the butterfly and said, oh, I can get that for you, I'll rip that open, the butterfly will never fly. And so part of what we have been through is a intensity that has given us wings. Though in the time of going through it, it didn't seem like that. And at times we can doubt our wings and our passion. Let's see what energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, right here. The Death card. Now this is Scorpio energy, time frame October 23rd to November 21st. Now it can be, be mindful of Scorpios, right? But it's also being mindful of secrets. It's being mindful of keeping secrets. It's being mindful of holding things back. Remember, the lungs protect the heart, right? And they have to work together. So we have to say what we love. It's no longer holding secrets and keeping back what we love. It is embracing it full on. And it's no longer, being okay with other people holding secrets about what they love. It's like, no, I want it into the light. And that's going to be very important for us. Our subconscious spirit message is the canary. I love that. The bright yellow bird, right? For bringing it into the light. It says, step forward now and sing your song. There's a power in finding your voice. And that is what this Venus retrograde is giving you, Sagittarius. It is giving you back your voice. And it is empowering it. It moves us then to psychic development. You have been through a psychic attack. You have been through an intense time. This is the third eye chakra. Tapping your third eye. You can do it also like a pressure point. Your third eye, embracing your psychic self, but embracing your intuition, your third eye, your inner wisdom. That is going to be very important. You might not want to go full on and be a tarot card reader or a medium or anything like that. That's fine. But here it is saying, I embrace my spiritual self and I let myself move forward, saying that not everything has to be grounded in just so. It doesn't all have to be quantifiable. And it moves us then to our energy to be mindful of. Be mindful during this time because you're going to have doors closed and doors open. And some things are going to feel like I just want to run through because I just want change to happen. And Spirit's saying be careful of the choices that you make, the way that you charge forward at times. When you want to move really fast and it's just out of frustration, slow down and take a beat and think about it a little bit more. And then, of course, we have the subconscious energy of the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is prosperity and success. It is breaking generational curses. It is moving forward and seeing yourself as generationally blessed. Because what you are seeing is that you have taken in the wisdom and the knowledge and the hurt and the pain of your ancestors, of those who have walked the earth before you. They don't have to be ancestors. They can be, spiritual ancestors. And now you are moving forward in a prosperity, in abundance, and in a wisdom that has come because you have watched as as others have charged forward. And you might be like, wow, I'm late to this game, or I'll never get to where it is that I want to be. No, your prosperity is coming at the exact perfect time. And you are opening up to blessings that felt insurmountable or felt so out of reach before. And now, because all that you have been through and all that is coming forward in this Venus retrograde, you're stepping into them with power and a surety of self, and truly entering into a new chapter of prosperity. All right, Sagittarius, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this Venus retrograde and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in. Pause if you are sensitive, not pause, mute if you are sensitive. Exhale whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. Have a blessed Venus retrograde. Bye.